Ladies and gentlemen, the final trading day for 2023 is over. We are going to be doing the last weekly close update for uranium. And it has been one hell of a year for uranium, especially spot price, especially Cameco and the ETFs. Yes, the smaller ones, the mid caps, hasn't performed as well as we have hoped, but yet more of them are up more than 50%. So who's to complain, right? So yeah, I think we're setting up for a fantastic 2024. Again, depends on how the overall markets will do. I could see some grim things during 2024 for the overall market, but we will take that as it comes. It will definitely pull down everything if it happens. Gold, silver, everything will get taken down if we have that major correction. But again, it is still the decade for commodities, but that will definitely hurt. No doubt about it. But anyways, let's look at the scoreboard for uranium. Where are we? What has happened? And let's start with a beautiful chart. Uranium spot price closing in at a tad above, let's call it $91 per pound. And how much are we up this year? Let's have a look. We are up roughly 84%. 84% is the increase of the spot price. Magnificent. It is just mind-blowing. And again, more to come in my view. My target is still for this shorter-term melt-up is still the $100. The triple digit, the gap here from 2007, the gap down from roughly 130 down to 100 in a single week. And I think we will get there, and then we will see what happens. But that's definitely a big target. You can see it's a one-way street at the moment. And yes, you can apply TA to any chart. Some of them are more difficult than others, depending on how much liquidity you have in that given sector or the chart. So anyways, fantastic year for uranium spot price all over the place. I cannot stress it enough. People are still bearish. I don't know why. It has been a great year for uranium. And as you know, there's more to come. We will get into the ratio chart and why I think 2024 could actually do very well. Again, depending on if we get that crash, it is what it is. But if we take that out of the equation, fantastic. Okay, URNM, we are up for the year. What a year this has been. What a year this has been. There we are roughly, let's clip it right there, up 60%. 57% we are up. And the chart for URNM looks still really good long term. No doubt about it. We, as mentioned plenty of times, this was the stage of the wave 2 correction. Huge sideways action for roughly 18 months time. And this is our wave 1, right? And now we're starting the rise up here. And usually, you know, a rise up here in a flag usually points to higher highs above the flag high. And right now we are, you know, very close to that high. That is why we are stalling. But definitely the chart looks fantastic. Short term, still you can see here, I've been playing a bit with the lines, and maybe it should be added there. That might be better, because we have this very, you know, yellow outlier here that is still, I think, the last one to hold. If it doesn't hold, then we could have an early Q4 correction. Again, it's not like we're going to crash all the way down. That doesn't make any sense to me. Again, the chart long term is fantastically bullish, but again, we are coming into that double top kind of scenario. I'm actually very glad we didn't get above the previous high and then went down again. So hopefully we will still grind it here, and we still hope the uptrend, and we will actually blast through, you know, early 2024. When and if that happens, that is when things go. I mean, wave 3, if you're looking at the wave cycle, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wave 3 is the longest, but also the one that has a lot more momentum, because that's when the big players come in. The big players is typically not in here, because that is when the trend is confirmed that we are now going from from a basing or a downtrend into an uptrend. And then when the big player sees this stuff right there, you know, the bullish sideways consolidation, they are either, you know, taking a position slowly, or they wait for that breakout, depending on how they do it. So the big move is wave 3, and this is, in my view, a textbook start. And wave 3 is, in order to have a wave 3, it needs to be longer. I mean, you know, higher than wave 1. That is one of the premises for wave 3. So if this is wave 3, where we went, wave 1, where we went up 500%, 600%, what do you think wave 3 will do? Okay, I'm, as you know, very, very bullish. Short term, you know, decisive point coming in here. But again, I think the ultimate outcome is new all-time highs for uranium, or URNM, excuse me, 2024. I cannot see anything other than that. If we have a normal market and no big crashes all over, that's my take on it. URNM actually looks quite nice. Still, we are holding the main uptrend is holding, and we're actually bouncing up it here. This blue bull flag right here with that outlier up there looks very promising. Cup handle, right? That is beautiful. So if we break that blue, that means, in my book, if it does that, URNM will also break up to the upside. And people are calling, now this is a rising wedge. No, it's not. It is rising, but that's not the definition of a rising wedge in my book. This is just, you know, a bullish, you know, charge up before we blast higher. Definitely. Again, if we break down here, we will have that correction. Well, how low can we go? There are some supports down here, so we could be looking at at least 15% correction if it starts to cave in here. I know the URA chart looks a bit different. Let's check it out. I normally don't do this. The reason is that huge gap down here. I want to explain my take on this. The reasoning for the gap down. Yes, we had a URNM, excuse me, was down 1.7% yesterday. URA was down roughly 7%. That difference is due to URA having, you know, their ex-dividend day, meaning on this day, if you hold URA, you will be allowed to get their dividends. I don't know the exact date. I guess somewhere in January, you will get the 4% dividend. I think it is 6% dividend. And what you often see is that a chart, a stock, an ETF, it doesn't matter. It always gaps down the percentage-wise how much dividend is paid out. And usually that closes again. You can, one second here. Excuse me, guys. I didn't want to pause. But anyways, so I think that gap is going to close. If it closes, that means that URA will, you know, gain like 5%, and URNM will do the, I think the same. But anyways, tricky point here with that gap down. My take is that it will close, actually. It usually does that. But anyways, we have to wait and see. Nothing more to do. But again, for URA, I want to show you also one trend line that I found yesterday. I think I found it before, actually. You can see here coming across the reasoning, in my view. Let's make it big, fat, and red. The reasoning why we're stalling, follow my mouse here. Boom, there it is, in my view. You can see it here, touching. There it is, connections, the 2021 high, and boom, we are stalling at exactly that point in time once again, right there. So when and if we break, in my view, that is the big one to go through. And when that happens, the entire, you know, bear market, basing, and wave 3 will kick into gear big time. It's a big trend line to take out. So getting above that $30, $31 for URA, look for that, have it on your chart, and that will be one to watch in my view. Okay, let's go on to the URNM against the uranium spot price. I looked at the chart a lot lately because I actually, you know, thought that we would be curling up from here. After that retest, we would be curling up. Clearly, we had like 6-7 weeks in a row with the red candles. I didn't quite expect that. However, I tried to look into a different formation that we've been looking at. That is the golden, you know, formation here. You know, 1, 2, 3, 4 5. So we now have our 3 impulses, lower lows. So ideally, yes, last week I think we tagged it, is the low in relation to URNM against the miners, meaning we should be curling up here again. I want to see us getting above that level right there. You can see it. That is huge resistance. So if this low holds and we are getting above 0.56 in that range, that's, in my view, a very clear sign that uranium miners really want to outperform the metal itself. Again, the metal has outperformed heavily. Let's actually do a measured move. How much did it outperform? It did outperform a lot. So roughly outperform by, or at least the URNM underperformed by 20 to 25% this year. So both went up big time, but the metal just went up more. So again, I think this could be the start. If we get above that horizontal level, this could be the start of something really good for the uranium miners, finally doing, outperformance once again, like we had here, and obviously this was the big bull market, the peak. But again, when and if we take out that triangle here at some point in time, hopefully, I mean, good things to come. I really do believe so. XLE against the URNM. You can clearly see here that this was the XLE. This was the bottom in URNM in September 2021. And ever since, XLE has outperformed, but you can see the topping pattern here. So this was higher highs and higher lows, and then we're just having this rollover kind of top here. And now we're in actually a pretty well-defined wedge here. And also, I think if we break that wedge, XLE could outperform URNM for like a retrace move, depending on how high we go. Definitely, that is just one where the energy sector overall does better than URNM. Again, it could be that both goes up, but it could also be that oil takes off big time, and gas for that matter. So keep that in mind. But definitely, this is a big low, and we are in that falling wedge. So it could be that we are in for that corrective move. Also, you have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 correction. Usually that leads to an ABC somehow, and then ultimately, in my view, rolling over. In late 2024, we could see that low getting hit in like 12 months' time. URNM against overall commodities, we're still in that rising wedge. And also 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Again, we could see a scenario where overall commodities will actually outperform URNM in like an ABC correction. We have a lot of highs down here that will act as support. But ultimately, the setup here points to that we will hit that target at some point in time, late 2024. Same with the XLE against URNM. I want to go to the daily here, URNM against Bitcoin. Yes, we do track that. I think it's important because Bitcoin is heavily speculative tech. So we want to outperform that. Again, broken down here in that falling wedge. And I think we are going in for that retest as we speak here in the early Q1 2024, and then we will see what happens, right? But usually this is a breakdown retest, and then we roll over. The other case is, as you know, always want to remove that yellow line there, excuse me. There it is. So breakdown, maybe it could be some sort of false breakdown. So that's the two scenarios, but most likely the odds favor this kind of move. We will keep an eye on it. And here comes the more interesting part, actually, in today's video, in my view. So you can see here, where are we? January, there it is. So roughly, actually, you can see here that URNM and the Nasdaq has actually done the exact same amount of gains. It's clearly a zero. That's the start. That's the end, right? So no one outperformed the other, and everyone is bullish the Nasdaq, but funny enough, are a bit skeptical but bearish on uranium. I don't know why. Nasdaq has, is at all-time highs, and URA is clearly trying to to leave its base into a stage 2 massive uptrend. So again, it's funny how people are more bearish on the uranium part, and but they have done the exact same as the tech. I find that very odd, actually. But anyways, to the chart here, it looks primed for me. This was the peak in 2021. We tagged it again, couldn't, and then we made that lower high, and then it was rollover time, and now tagged it again. So you can clearly see that that level is the big line in the sand, in which if we get above, URNM will start to outperform tech, and that's very, very important. So looking at it, what happened here, this was a major bull flag that formed. We broke to the upside, breakout to the high, retest. So what you're seeing here is a very strong bull flag above that support, that previous bull flag high trend line. And we have had at least an ABC correction for now, but definitely the setup here favors that this bull flag, right, resolves to the upside at some point in time, outperforming tech. And in my view, when that happens, meaning energy is back in the game, and more money will come from the tech into energies because it is outperforming. So very bullish setup here, and I think we can get that break, hopefully Q1 2024. So very important bull flag right here. We don't want this to get back below into that bull flag. That would be, I wouldn't call it devastating, but that would definitely sting. That's for sure. Same thing, URNM against the SPY, so the SP 500. Let's find where the year started, roughly here. So you can see that actually URNM has outperformed by 25% against the SP 500. Beautiful. And also more or less the same thing. You can see here, that was the long bullish sideways consolidation, huge breakout into the flag high, as you can see, and then we corrected. The beauty of this chart is that we didn't crash, or crash, but we didn't get like a hard rejection all the way down to that retest, but we just attacked it, and then sideways bullish consolidation below a major resistance favors that this wants to blast to the upside. The bearish side is that we haven't made that retest yet, so we might need that detour, but then that's also where I think things will go in favor of URNM. But this flag pole into that flag favors that we will do it without a retest of that golden double rail right there. Again, wave 1, wave 2, wave 3. Sorry for my lines here. It's a bit of a longer video because it is the last trading day of 2023. So I'm trying to summarize what I think will happen in 2024 in regarding to this sector. So XLE, so the overall all energy sector, usually that's oil and gas, by the way, mostly. It's actually, want to go to the daily chart for you guys. There it is, massive head and shoulders and breakdown retest. So what's happening on the smaller time scales here? Breakdown, retesting. It looks like resumption, right? So it looks like that actually that overall energy sector, oil and gas mostly, could start to underperform the SPX. That is clearly not ideal. So we will see what happens here. But definitely the setup is that we have broken the golden uptrend, and now the neckline. Not ideal for the overall energies. But yeah, also fantastic, again, going back to some of the more pretty charts. Uranium spot price against gold, killing it, without any doubt. You can see here up 80% against gold this year alone. And it has broken a massive neckline off that insanely big inverted head and shoulders boom. And again, my take. I truly believe that we will get that retest. I really, that is still my call, that actually gold is going to do that retesting, in 2024. It doesn't mean that uranium spot price is going to crash. But if you look at a gold chart, we are trying to break into new highs above the 2K. We are above 2K, obviously. But again, I think gold could have a year where it does at least 20%. at least. So going to 2,400, maybe even 2,600 for a 30% gain. And if it does that, maybe uranium spot price takes a pause and we get that retest. Again, the uranium spot market is very, very thin. Again, so it could be that we will not get that retest and it just keeps outperforming. But again, it is my take that from a technical point of view, we need, in quote, that retest to confirm it, and then boom, we will blast higher. Same thing for uranium against silver. How much did we outperform? I think we did actually quite a lot. Let me see here. So roughly 100%. So uranium spot price did 100% better, more than silver. But I do think 2024 for silver, if you look at that chart, it's going to break out heavily of that 2 to 3 year long bullish sideways action. And when it does that, silver will be into the 40s before people can even open the chart in TradingView. It will happen very, very quickly, but that's for a different video, by the way. Again, when that happens, in my view, boom, that will retest. And yeah, but still, look at it here. Uranium spot price doing beautiful. It has been a tremendous year for uranium spot price. Excuse me. And now we just need the miners to really start to say, all right, it's our time to shine. Yeah, I think that is where we end the video. Great year for uranium, and I think 2024 could be even better for the miners. Again, I think when we get into close to that $100 uranium spot price, it will stall. That is my take. Maybe we get, into the gap, so we are between, 100 and 130. But definitely, I think that's when we need to pause for like a longer period of time, and then we will go higher again. As I always say, nothing goes in a straight line. And the same thing for the uranium spot price, really. So yeah, that's it, guys. I will thank you everyone for being part of this channel. I don't know when I started actually, but it was during this year, and it has been a blast. So thank you everyone for being a part of this, and I hope you will stay in 2024. I will do the same videos that I did this year and mixing in a lot of stuff. So again, if you like what I do, subscribe, comment, thumbs up, all that good stuff. You know what to do. And if this is the last video you will ever see of me here in 2023, have a great new year. And yeah, we will see you in the next one, guys. Cheers. Bye.